Over 2,500 years ago, a single battle changed the course of history forever. The Battle of Marathon, a clash between the massive and seemingly unstoppable Persian Empire and the determined, outnumbered city-state of Athens, was not just a fight for survival, but a defining moment for Western civilization. Against overwhelming odds, the Athenians, with the aid of a small force from Plataea, managed to repel the Persian invasion, demonstrating the power of strategy, unity, and sheer determination. What happened on the plains of Marathon not only secured the future of Athens, but has echoed across centuries, shaping the political ideals of democracy, cultural achievements, and the trajectory of a world as we know it. This victory marked the beginning of the Greco-Persian Wars and established a legacy of resilience that continues to inspire generations. The enmity between Persia and Athens began with the Ionian Revolt, a pivotal uprising where the Greek city-states in Asia Minor, under Persian control, dared to challenge Persian rule. This revolt, supported by Athens and Eretria, marked a bold act of defiance against the vast Persian Empire. The rebellion enraged Darius I, the ambitious king of Persia, who viewed the support of Athens as a direct insult to his authority. Determined to punish Athens and assert Persia's dominance, Darius began plotting a campaign to subjugate the Greek city-states, setting the stage for a series of confrontations that would shape the course of history. In 490 BCE, the Persian Empire, under King Darius I, launched its first major expedition to subdue Greece and expand its dominion. This invasion was partly a response to Athens' support of the Ionian Revolt years earlier, which had directly challenged Persian authority. The massive Persian fleet landed near the plain of Marathon, a mere 26 miles northeast of Athens, choosing the location for its vast open fields, ideal for their cavalry. Outnumbered and facing the threat of annihilation, Athens called for aid from its Greek neighbors. However, help came sparingly, as many Greek city-states were hesitant or unwilling to face the might of the Persian army. Only the small but fearless city of Plataea sent troops to stand alongside the Athenians. Despite the odds, the Athenians chose to fight, understanding that defeat would mean not only the destruction of their city, but also the loss of their nascent democracy and hard-won freedom. It was a battle that would come to symbolize the resilience of free people against overwhelming tyranny. Organizing an invasion of this scale was no small feat and required meticulous planning and resources. Persian ships carried not only thousands of soldiers, but also horses, vast amounts of food supplies, and heavy siege equipment necessary for prolonged campaigns. The fleet stretched for miles across the Aegean Sea, showcasing the sheer size and complexity of the operation, a true testament to Persian logistical expertise and ambition. However, supporting such a massive force came with significant challenges. The need for long and fragile supply lines, stretching across vast distances and over open waters, would later prove to be a key weakness, leaving the Persians vulnerable to delays, disruptions, and resource shortages during the campaign. What initially seemed like a display of strength ultimately became a critical flaw. Leading the Athenian army was Miltiades, a seasoned commander with extensive experience in Persian warfare. His knowledge of their tactics and strategies made him an invaluable leader during this critical moment. Facing an overwhelming Persian force, Miltiades understood the odds were not in Athens' favor. Recognizing the disparity in numbers, he devised a daring plan. Rather than waiting for the Persians to advance further, he made the bold decision to confront them on the open plain of Marathon, a move that would test the courage and skill of his smaller, determined army. The Persians relied heavily on their numerical superiority and the speed and mobility of their well-trained cavalry, which had proven dominant in previous battles. In contrast, the Athenians placed their faith in their heavily armored infantry, known for their discipline, coordination, and effectiveness in close combat. Miltiades, the Athenian general, devised a strategy to exploit these differences, carefully choosing terrain that would limit the effectiveness of the Persian cavalry and force the battle into conditions more favorable to his hoplites. By doing so, he aimed to level the playing field and turn the tide against the larger Persian force. In a time when the gods were believed to intervene directly in human affairs, the Athenians sought divine favor before marching to battle. They offered carefully prepared sacrifices to Zeus, ruler of the heavens, Athena, goddess of wisdom and war strategy, and Ares, the god of war, seeking strength, guidance, and protection in the face of conflict. These rituals were performed with great reverence, often accompanied by prayers, hymns, and offerings of animals or goods at sacred altars. The belief that the gods were on their side bolstered the morale of the Greek army, instilling a deep sense of purpose and unity among the soldiers. This faith in divine support not only strengthened their resolve, but also gave them the psychological edge needed to face overwhelming odds, allowing them to fight with the conviction that victory was not only possible, but destined. The Athenian army implemented an innovative and daring tactic, a deliberately weakened center flanked by significantly strengthened wings. This strategy, though simple in concept, was entirely unprecedented in ancient warfare. The idea was to lure the opposing forces into overcommitting to an apparent weak point. When the heavily armed Persian forces attacked, they naturally concentrated their efforts on breaching the Athenian center, believing it to be the most vulnerable part of the formation. As they pushed through the thinly defended middle, their flanks became exposed to a devastating counterattack by the stronger Athenian wings, which swiftly moved to encircle and overwhelm the Persian forces. This clever maneuver relied not only on calculation and timing, but also on the discipline and coordination of the Athenian soldiers, showcasing the ingenuity of their military strategy. The city-state of Plataea honored its alliance with Athens by sending a small but determined contingent of troops to assist in the fight against the Persian invasion. Though Plataea could only contribute 1,000 soldiers to join Athens' army of 10,000, their participation carried immense symbolic weight, showcasing the solidarity and unity among the Greek city-states in the face of a common enemy. These soldiers fought bravely alongside their allies, standing firm against Persia's overwhelming numbers and demonstrating remarkable courage. Their valor left a lasting legacy, and their contribution continues to be celebrated as a pivotal moment of Greek unity and resistance in the pages of history. As dawn broke on the plain of Marathon, the two armies prepared for a battle that would determine the course of history. The Athenians, outnumbered but resolute, stood in their tightly organized phalanx formation, shields locked and spears at the ready. When the clash began, it was a brutal melee, with the sound of metal on metal and the cries of the wounded filling the air. The Athenians' disciplined phalanx held firm against the initial Persian assault, their training and unity proving decisive. Meanwhile, their flanks, moving with precision and speed, encircled the Persian troops, cutting off their escape. Chaos erupted as the Persian lines, overwhelmed and disorganized, began to crumble under the relentless pressure, marking a pivotal moment in the battle. In a single, decisive day, the Athenians achieved an improbable victory against the mighty Persian forces, sending them retreating back to their ships in disarray. The battle was hard-fought, with both sides suffering heavy losses, and the cost in Athenian lives was tragically high. However, the rewards of their valor were far greater: freedom from foreign domination and the survival of their city-state. This triumph not only secured Athens' place in history, but also became a symbol of resilience and the enduring fight for independence. The legend of Pheidippides, the Athenian messenger who ran from the battlefield of Marathon to Athens to deliver news of the Greek victory over the Persians, has become a timeless symbol of endurance and triumph. According to the story, Pheidippides covered a nearly 26-mile distance without stopping, driven by his duty to convey the message that Athens had been saved. Upon reaching the city, he reportedly exclaimed his final words, "We have won," before collapsing from exhaustion. His dedication and sacrifice not only highlight the determination and spirit of the Greek people during a pivotal moment in history, but also inspired the modern marathon, a race that continues to test human perseverance to this day. The victory at Marathon instilled immense confidence in Athens, solidifying their belief in the strength of their democracy and military strategy. It became a pivotal moment in shaping Athenian identity, laying the groundwork for their eventual golden age of culture, philosophy, and power. For the Persian Empire, the defeat was a stark and painful reminder that even mighty empires can falter. What they saw as a minor punitive expedition turned into a humbling loss, challenging their perceived invincibility and foreshadowing future conflicts with the fiercely determined Greek city-states. While the men fought bravely on the battlefield at Marathon, the women and non-combatants back in Athens played equally vital roles in ensuring the city's survival. Women managed households, cared for the elderly and children, and kept daily life functioning smoothly despite the uncertainty and fear of war. Non-combatants contributed by maintaining supplies, providing moral support, and preparing for potential attacks. Their courage and resilience during these tumultuous times were essential in preserving the city's stability, ensuring Athens would be ready to rebuild and thrive after the battle. These unsung efforts were critical in shaping the city's future. In the wake of Marathon, Greek military strategy evolved dramatically, marking a turning point in their approach to warfare. The Athenians, recognizing the importance of preparation, poured resources into refining their navy, transforming it into a formidable force capable of defending against threats by sea. They also focused on strengthening alliances with other city-states, understanding that unity would be critical in facing the vast Persian Empire. The lessons learned at Marathon, including the value of strategy, discipline, and the element of surprise, served as a blueprint for future victories. These efforts not only prepared Athens for the inevitable Persian invasion, but also laid the foundation for their eventual triumph at battles like Salamis and Plataea, securing their place in history. From the Persian perspective, the loss at Marathon was a humiliating setback, but was far from crippling to their vast empire. The defeat marked a momentary pause in their plans, but it also fueled a desire for retribution. Determined to assert Persian dominance, Darius began assembling resources and strategizing for a larger and more comprehensive invasion to subjugate Greece. This preparation laid the groundwork for the future conflicts that would come to define the Greco-Persian Wars, where the clash of empires would showcase both Persian ambition and Greek resilience. From inspiring the Marathon race to representing the origins of democratic ideals, the Battle of Marathon holds a unique place in modern culture. This historic clash between the vastly outnumbered Athenians and the powerful Persian army showcased extraordinary determination and strategic brilliance. It marked a pivotal moment in history, not just for military success, but for the protection of early democratic values. Its lessons on strategy, courage, and unity continue to resonate, reminding us of the power of collective action and the enduring impact of standing firm against overwhelming odds. Even today, the legacy of this battle shapes our understanding of resilience and the fight for freedom. For more explorations of history's greatest moments, subscribe to our channel and join the conversation in the comments below. What battles do you think shaped history the most?